So instead of looking at other people as competition or problems, why don't you let people challenge you? Why don't you let them into your life to speak into you to make you better? Believe it or not, even your enemies and those that resist you can make you better, because what they think is a weakness, you can use to make a strength. Areas that they call out in feedback and negativity that they give you, you can use as a strength in order to get better. Hey everyone, welcome to the Healthy Christian Podcast. This is season 5, episode 3, and we've been talking about how to live healthy physically in this season. Today, we're going to be diving into the topic of surrender. Yes, this is a good word, especially when it comes to our physical health in our life. We're going to be talking about that in this episode. And really, this word surrender has a bad, negative default reaction to it, but we want to talk about why this is important and how God in the Bible really helps us understand what this word surrender is. So let's dive in here out of James chapter 4, verse 7. Listen to this. Submit yourselves, therefore, to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Okay, let's talk about this for a second, because resist the devil and he will flee from you is usually how most Christians respond to this scripture. Okay, I'm going to resist the devil in my strength and in my ability and overcome my sin or temptation or whatever it is. But it's important to read the entire scripture. Submit yourself to God. This is really important, to submit or to surrender yourself to God first. This is where we get our strength, our power, the authority that we have to overcome the devil and the enemy is through God. So when we submit to God and his ways, we have the strength to overcome. So this is this word submit and submission that we want to connect here into the physical and our physical health, because it's a really important concept. I remember before I was a personal trainer, before I really got into health and fitness, I would be at the gym all the time working out. And I'll never forget, this big old bodybuilder came up to me. He was huge, really strong. And he says, "Hey, I've been noticing you've been working really hard in the gym. I've seen your progress. And I just want to say, I think you should try out for a fitness competition." I'd never thought about this before. Never even crossed my mind that I should compete in a fitness competition. And so he encouraged me to do this. And I had no idea where to start, no idea what to do. I quickly realized I was lost in this world. I mean, I could go to the gym, I could eat healthy. I knew that, but to compete on a professional level or to compete against other people, I was really clueless. And so I shared this with him, and he's like, "Hey, no problem. You need to get yourself a trainer for competition." I was like, "I don't need a trainer. I already know how to exercise and all this." And he says, "Well, when you get a trainer, when you submit to somebody else's wisdom and their knowledge, they can help you compete and be stronger than you're going to know how to do on your own." And this was a really important step for me in my life, because I began to realize even in our physical world around us, we need to submit and reach out to other people to help us in our walk. So maybe you're at a place right now in your life where you've achieved great success and you've done a lot of great things, but to achieve that next level, to go to the next place in your life, you're going to need somebody in your life that can help you. And the key to this is you have to submit to their knowledge, their strength, their ability in order to get to where you desire to be. And this is really important when we see this scripture out of James 4, because it's saying submit to God. For those of us that follow God, that claim to be Christians, we acknowledge that God is the king. He is the authority, the creator of the earth and everything in it. And so he knows, and his wisdom is far greater than ours. So if we start there, we can understand, hey, submission is a good thing. That I am seeking someone that is smarter, wiser, greater than me, and I want them to guide me and teach me. So submitting to God is a really good thing, and it connects even to our physical health. So I think the first key to understanding submission is to know your limits. We are all limited. We usually gain our wisdom through experience, whether that's knowledge, going to school, reading, studying, even teachers pass along their wisdom to us. But we need to understand that we are limited in our knowledge. And I think if you start there, if maybe you could just humble yourself a little bit and understand that what you've learned, the place that you're at now may be great and you may be very successful, but what if you included somebody else who was better, wiser, smarter, greater that could help you? So instead of looking at other people as competition or problems, why don't you let people challenge you? Why don't you let them into your life to speak into you to make you better? Believe it or not, even your enemies and those that resist you can make you better, because what they think is a weakness, you can use to make a strength. Areas that they call out and feedback and negativity that they give you, you can use as a strength in order to get better. I remember when I was doing these bodybuilding competitions and people would say, "Oh, you look a little too much here and a little too much there." And if I didn't have a plan around that area to improve it, I knew I wasn't going to grow in that area. So I needed a plan. So I'd reach out to my trainer. "Hey, I feel like I'm not developing in this area. How can I improve this?" And she would help me in those different areas. So know your limit, know where you need help in order to be successful in the future. So where in your body do you need help? Yes, you know you could eat healthy and exercise, and there's things that you know you could be doing. But what are the areas you don't know? You have no idea how to get to this place or to achieve this result. What are your limits? And let's begin to talk about what you're going to do about it. Because we really do have to find people in our life that we are willing to submit to. And what I mean by that is willing to say, "Hey, I'm going to trust your way. Even though I may think or disagree with the advice that you're giving me, I'm going to try it. I'm going to submit to it. I'm going to, even if it's for a season, a month, 3 months, 6 months, I'm going to try the wisdom that you're going to give me." And this is really important in our life, is to actually submit. I know so many people that go to the doctors and the doctors give them medicine and they give them a dose. And maybe this dose says you should take 2 pills a day and the person will only take one. And you begin to ask, well, are you really trusting in the doctor? Are you trusting in his wisdom? He gave you something. You're going to take it, but not take it fully all the way. So I want to encourage you that when you seek out for guidance and wisdom is to follow it, to actually trust it, to walk it out, to give it time, set a time that you're going to trust in other people and see what happens. You know, a lot of times we want to make these little baby steps when we trust people, and which is fine. I understand that we need caution and we need to be wise in who we trust and the steps that we take. But we do have to get to a point where it's like full submission, where it's like, okay, I trust you. I'm going in. I'm going to try this. And you know what? Your body's going to give you feedback, whether it's working or not. And as long as your body is not giving you negative signs of feedback, or your body is not screaming at you from allergic reactions or all these different things from products, hey, fully trust the process and dive in. And so this is really important for us. I even remember when I had a trainer that she would tell me to do things and try things, and I would give her feedback. And so what this does is, again, it puts the trust in the person in the process to say, hey, this may or may not be working. This is the feedback that I got. And she would change things, tweak things. So instead of just stopping it or not doing it or losing trust in the person, I would give feedback, and I would see even better results than I was already giving, because I was putting my trust into that person and sharing. This is really important for us to grasp, because if we don't understand submission in this world, in the natural, in the physical, in the things around us, it's really hard to trust God, the God we can't see, but that is with us all the time. So understanding that we need to learn what submission looks like, and we need to understand that I don't need to always do the things I want to do. Heard a really wise person one time tell me, when's the last time you said no to yourself or what you wanted to do in your life? This is a really important concept of submission, is submitting myself to authority, to people that are greater, wiser than me, and trusting in the process, I believe, is a really important point. So some next steps, practical next steps to take away from today is to identify one weak area in your life that you need help. Just one. Pick one. I know sometimes we can beat ourselves up and we got all these areas that we want to improve, but this week, pick one. What is one area that you want to improve and that you're going to find someone to give you advice and you're going to try it? So identify one area, set a timeline. How long are you going to try this for? And commit to it. Stick with it. Whether you say that's a month or several months, stick with the wisdom, the advice that you've been given, and see how it's going to play out and walk in your life. As always, I really want to encourage you with resources. And I always pull scripture in these podcasts because I'm a big believer that God's ways are wiser. And so I really want to encourage you over this next week as you begin to trust other people is to also trust God and his ways. Maybe there's some scriptures that you've struggled with submitting to that you read and you're like, I don't know if that's really good for my life. Hey, I want to encourage you to try it and stick with it and see how God is faithful, that his ways are good, that he wants good things for you and for your life. So again, dive in, connect with people, allow people to speak into areas of your life that you're going to take that feedback and apply it to your life. Surrender is a good word when we can apply it and use it to help us grow. Hope you find this encouraging. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you for tuning in to the Healthy Christian Podcast. Now it's your turn to put these principles we've discussed into action. We'd love to hear how they've impacted you. Please rate, review, and share the podcast with others. Join us on social media to continue the conversation and share your insights. Until next time, stay healthy.